there's something about a sandwich trick that gets people aroused to magic in a certain way that other tricks don't do the same. So what I mean by that is that you have a spectator look at a sandwich trick and something happens inside of their bodies that you really can't compare to other tricks, and that's why they clamor for more. They want more. Oh, put more sandwich tricks on my face. I want more sandwich tricks. So today I'm gonna show you guys a variation on a very popular sandwich trick that I think the spectators will get a kick out of. No, they'll enjoy this. So for this, I'm going to be using these Series 1800 bicycle decks with the greatest march system on the face of the planet. So I'm going to use the actual kings for this. If you see, oh, that's all 4 kings. You don't see it. That's 1 king. That's another king over there, and then that's the other king. That's the 4 kings. So apart from that, we're also going to need a card selected here, which oh, what a fantastic focusing there. So we're gonna have a card selected. In this case, it will be the that card right there. Of course, I'm not supposed to know about it. These cards get lost and shuffled in the deck. You know what's going on there. But actually, we don't need all 4 kings for this. We give the spectator a little bit of a selection for this, because we only really need two kings to find a card. If we just have 4 kings, then that turns into a gang bukaki. So pretty much we just need 2 kings. So the spectators select whichever king they want to actually find their card. And in this case, let's say they want the black kings to find their card. You go, oh, that's good. I mean, you could have had these red cards, but you know what? The blacks usually are better at finding things, so we'll use these black cards for now. Now, of course, the thing about these cards is that they might do it a little bit more aggressively than the other cards. So for that reason, you might want to have picked the red cards. But you know what? We'll go with what you selected here. So I just want to make sure that there isn't anything in particular between these cards. You don't have any sort of weird special cards. So as a matter of fact, we're gonna put 1 king on the bottom here and another king on top, because that's gonna facilitate their searching action here. So if we just give it a little bit of a magic pass here. You see the cards actually disappear. You have the king that is not on top. You know why? They didn't actually disappear. They went deeper inside of the deck. See, if we spread here, we notice that, oh, what? Lo and behold, they actually trapped a card here. They actually have a card trapped between them, and it's actually the what? It's the what? It's the other 2 kings, huh? That doesn't make sense. The other 2 kings are supposed to be over here. Wait a second. No. This is no. That's a trick. That's a magic trick. That's, oh my, what? How did it? Oh, so that's it's a good sandwich trick. It's hits him right in the cunt, if you know what I mean. So for this, we're gonna need a couple things. We need the kings. You produce them however it is that you want. You could do some sort of fancy production where they just, you know, they one of those. You could do whatever you want with them, but they're out. And then if you want, you can have the card box. A lot of times when a trick requires to put cards on a table, I like to have the card box. Why? Because it makes it so much easier to pick it up. You see that? You see that? I could just pick it up easily. If the card's on a table, then you see what? I have to like kind of scrape it, and then that becomes a hassle. So good tip, PigCake tip there. So you have a card selected over here. You have a card selected over here. This case is the good 5. And that card, of course, gets controlled to the top in whatever method you deem acceptable. So that card's on top. And you ask the spectators to pick whichever kings they want to find their card. Because really, you only need 2 kings. You can have whatever pattern you want about the gangbang, bukkake, whatever it is that you deem appropriate. But case in point, while they're selecting this, you're getting a pinky break below the top card, which is their card over here in the deck. So let's say they pick the black king, so you go, oh, and of course this is done on the offbeat here. This isn't done as a magical movement. That's what it's gonna look like here. But you don't want to make that look like a movement like so many people do. So on the offbeat, you're just talking about how these kings might be a little bit better. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take these 2 kings, you're gonna put them face down in the deck, of course retaining the break. You're gonna pick up that whole packet, which is gonna have the 5 and the other 2 kings. and you're gonna just spread off one over here. You see what happens? Put that underneath, spread up again, and then show the two kings this way. So now what you've done is you just kind of displaced it so that the 5 is in the back here being hidden by the king. You see what's happening here? Now, my motivation here is that I wanna kind of put these on the card box, but if I do it like that, then that's not gonna work because I need to switch them. So you could do two things here at once. You could do two different ways to put this on top of the card box. You could either do what I did in performance, which is square it up and then just put it in the card box nonchalantly, having 2 cards, which is a 5 and a king, and then later picking these up, kind of repositioning the box, squaring it up, and you see what happens. I deposit the bottom king, just holding the 5 and put that on the box. You could do that, or what you could do is just eliminate that from the start, just kind of show these 2 kings nonchalantly, square everything up, but just pick up the 5, put that on the card box, and then draw attention to the king. You could really do both of them if you want. I like doing that little thing first, and then repositioning the box, squaring it up, and then doing that, just because it gives this a picture, so that kind of becomes a picture in their head. So later on, they're like, wait a second, I remember there being 2 cards in the deck. You see the mind freak that's going on right here? But you could do whichever way you want. So, case in point, you just end up with the 5 on top of the card box. They think those are the 2 kings, and you proceed with these 2 cards. Now, again, here, another thing you could do is the sandwich move right there to just get the king between it. But what PigCake likes to do is a little bit more different than the grain here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, oh, you see, there's nothing special about this king. You don't have any sort of Asian kid working at a factory producing cards between it. This isn't some sort of special magic king here, right? And as you do that, you're going to put this king on top, draw attention to this king, and you lift up the card beneath it here. So this is kind of a variation on the sandwich move because you are apparently not making contact with the deck. I feel like with the original sandwich move, which is this thing, it's kind of a telltale sign that you're about to do something sneaky. So I prefer having this kind of offhanded version, which just gives a little bit more of a clean appearance here. So once again, you have this king here. You draw attention to this king as this king gets lifted off with this one underneath. You say, look, there's nothing underneath. There's nothing sneaky about this. This king with this double goes on the bottom of the deck. This one goes on top of the deck. And you could do whatever it is that you want here. If you happen not to have the godlike skill of a pass, you could just simply cut the kings into the deck just like that. And that's as simple. That'll leave you in the same position as before. If not, then you spread the deck and you do whatever pass you want to get those kings on the middle of the deck and show, oh, look, they disappeared. Oh, my God, where'd the kings go? Oh, God, where did the... So at this point, you spread through and you show that the kings have trapped one card here, which is just, what? Huh? How did that even happen, right? Well, you know the method. So at this point, what you're doing, if you haven't figured it out, is you're getting a pinky break below the 4th card as you deposit these on top of the half on the table. So what's happening is you have this king over here and you have this supposed king over here. So you're gonna regrip in the right hand and biddle kind of count these onto the left hand as you make sure that this king is squared up. So you're displaying, you go, oh, see, there's one card in between the kings. Sir, what was your card for the first time? They name whatever the card is. So you're going to turn these over, and you're going to do this kind of Chris Mayhew move here. And look at the crediting here. He has a similar trick where he does something like that, only this king is on the bottom, so it looks a little bit like that. I just like having it in the middle here because I think it's a little bit more visually aesthetic. By the way, as far as crediting, this is a Luke Dancy trick, which is gaffed from my understanding, and then there's variations on it by like 1,000 magicians. So there you go. Look at that crediting right there, only on PigCake. So what you're doing here is you're just regripping. This card, of course, is hiding that king behind so that when you ask them what card they picked, they say whatever it is they picked. You're just going to turn this over and extend your middle finger to spread both cards out and go, oh, what? Huh? That's the king? What? That's not supposed to be. That's insane. The kings were over here. Of course, the kings aren't over there anymore because that's the card that they picked. So you could reveal that in whatever way you want. So this is kind of a jarring moment for them at this point when you have this over here and you go, oh, what card did you pick? Oh, that's cool because the king, huh? Transposition maybe. So that's a cool variation on that sandwich trick with kind of a twist, a twist on a twist. The M Night Shyamalan sandwich trick. That's not what I'm gonna call it, but you comment below on what the name of this trick should be. So you practice it, make it well, and do all the things. I'm gonna go figure out how to make a montage of people walking into a Burger King and ordering Slurpees.
When I see you again, 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 when I see